Hi guys. So in this video, we'll be going over the bullish liquidity models 1, 2, and 3. I'm just gonna go ahead and group them together so they're not separate. I already had done a separate video for the bearish liquidity models 1, 2, and 3, but I'm just gonna put together the bullish ones because it's pretty much the same concept, just flipped. So we'll go ahead and this is going to be the first bullish model. Let's see. Okay, so this is going to be the first bullish model, just like the first one where we have all this built up liquidity right here, and we have different types of traders getting into these positions. We have trendline traders here. And like I said, we're talking about the bearish liquidity model, that this would be built up liquidity, and overall we would want to find something below that because this is feeding into a lower POI area, which we would have somewhere just below that. And then you can go ahead and place your long position here from the low. Stops would be at the previous low, and then your TP would be at the high. But we understand the psychology behind this model and overall with liquidity and structure. This is just a bullish form of that. So the second one would be this one. I really should have did all the bearish liquidity models together, but it is what it is. There. Okay. Okay. And this would be, oh, forgot to leave that. Okay, so this one would be this, and this would be the obvious setup. Obviously, people would take this, there would still be a reaction, but because there was nothing, no liquidity created above this, this does not make it high probable, and then price would come back down. And this is where the patience would enter. Price would come back down and then take all buyers out of the market. And then you do the same thing where you can even have a limit set right here. And then stops would be just below. And then your TP would just be at the high for this model. But yeah, like I said, same concept. We are just watching for liquidity. Obviously, this had nothing above that. So we would then use this area as the liquidity. Stay patient when it comes to this structure though. You want to stay extra patient when it comes to this one because eventually it will come back down, tap below it, and then continue bullish. Okay. That's the second bullish liquidity model. And now we're going to be going on our last one. And the last one, like I said, is not one that's super common, but you need to understand that it can happen in the market and you want to be prepared for it. Okay, so this would happen in the market. Like I said, a simple break and retest right here. So then a lot of traders like to place their areas of interest very early. So I noticed that a lot of the times your bias may be correct, but you're just getting in way too early. So that's where the patience come into play because even if we see this type of structure in live market, a lot of people are already planning their moves out, right? Because people would already have an area like this to look at, and people would already have an area over here to look at as well. And so it's tricky when it comes to this because of how price action would play out. Like we don't know exactly what's going to happen. So that's why we have to watch. We have to continually watch the market because we literally don't know what's going to happen. You can have these areas marked up, but we don't know how price is going to react to them and which one is correct, right? We don't know which of these two are going to be what's going to give us our overall move. But this is where the compression movement happens, where if we did something like this and we came back down kind of like this into this area, and then we went ahead and broke this high here. This can happen. And like I said, if this does happen where we see some sort of compression movement, then we're going to automatically use this as our liquidity, and we tapped into something below that and we can just fly. And like I was saying as well, this can happen. Or what can happen is we can come back down here. You would get tapped into your position. There would be some sort of initial reaction, but then price could always, end up dropping into something below it and then continuing at higher prices and breaking structure. So this one, just be cautious with. It is pretty tricky. And this one requires a lot of watching price action. But these are the three bullish models. Really, really easy and self-explanatory. If you are still confused on the psychology behind it, please go ahead and rewatch the bearish liquidity models because I explain everything in those. So these are just flipped from the bearish models.